How's it going, guys? What's going on? What's up, Brett? Um, yeah, I love how you're just on every stream of Coin Bureau ever. It's amazing. Let me know that you could hear me. Let me know that you can see me. Let me know it's all good, and we could start. Also, by the way, I am on a treadmill right now, hence me moving because for some reason, being on a treadmill, um, actually like moving my body while I'm working tends to actually help me focus. I'm pretty sure it's an ADHD thing. So if you happen to have really bad ADHD, maybe try getting a treadmill and then going on it. And actually, I'm not even walking forwards, I'm walking backwards. So I'm walking backwards on the treadmill while doing the stream. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Hopefully, I don't fall and bust my ass. But I've been doing it a while, so I think I will be okay. Anyway, today, well, first off, I do want to keep on going through the master indicator, of course, but also I am in Claude right now, and it is light mode. I'll share it with you right now. Let me share the screen for Claude, and as you can see, the left side of the screen, it's light mode, and I want it to be dark mode because it's insane to me using light mode. So I'm trying to figure this out. If you happen to know how to get Claude into to be dark mode again, let me know. Otherwise, we're gonna have to deal with this. But for now, I'm gonna put this back on the screen for the chart because you could see there's a pretty good short setup right here for ZEC. So this is something that I just took. We will see how it plays out, and it's not gonna, this is a 1 hour chart, so it's not like it's gonna play out, by the end of the stream or anything like that. But maybe next stream, if this wins, we will. I'll just not. It's not LARPing, or it's not like boasting or bragging. It's collecting clout. I'll collect my clout for this trade setup. We'll see. Yeah, Brett. So Thailand is. It's not that it's not keeping me busy enough, because I am insanely busy, but it's. I just have so much. You ever get overwhelmed with how much you need to do, and you have so many things that you need to do? So then, but then it just becomes like basically overwhelm, and you are like, man, I need to take a nap, because that has been happening to me a little bit lately. But for the most part, you gotta work, you gotta hustle, you gotta grind, gotta keep on moving on, right? And every single day, as long as you do something every single day, that is the important part. That's actually something that I learned a long time ago. Just try to get one thing done every day, and you will do more in a year than most people do in 10 years, because most people, just never even do anything. So slow progress is better than no progress, and aim for progress, not perfection. And you'll most likely, find it working out really well for you if you do that. So now let's get into the charts a little bit. I'll go over the charts for maybe like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Maybe not 30 minutes, maybe like 20 minutes. And then I'll go into the master indicator again. So first off, let's take a look at the total market cap. So awesome. Things do seem to be going according to plan. Perfect. Actually, I don't even remember when I made this, but yeah, it seems to be going according to plan. As you could tell from this chart, give me 1 second. Let me go into Claude and try to change it real quick. Settings, general appearance. Perfect. Thank you, Brett. Okay, now I am back in into dark mode for Claude, and so now when I go back into it, Give me 1 second here. 1 second here. Boom. Dark mode. Way better. So much better. Oh my God. They should just have it permanently on dark mode. Oh, wait. They do. I messed up my browser. I cleared all the cache in my browser and stuff. That's why it reset. But anyway, we'll get to this in a minute. First off, let's go back to the total market cap and take a look at what that's doing. So big overview. Big overview is this. We essentially, we topped in August in the market cap, which is funny because it's like, wait, no, hold on 1 second. It wasn't August. It was I thought that this was the top, but I'm pretty sure we went slightly above it in October. So we topped in October, right? And then fell back down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Damn, 5 months in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Making sure you count. 5 months in a row, came down, and pretty much, I mean, this is why the Fibonacci is so insane, and I love it so much, and I use it for everything I do in my trading. Fibonacci from the bottom to the top, golden ratio right there, 2.1 trillion, and that's exactly where we ended up, going to. And so we hit the golden ratio. There's almost always a bounce from the golden ratio, so we got the bounce, moving up now. But if we scroll back and we look at 2021, what happened in 2021 is we had basically 1 year, not basically, we had 1 year from November 2021 to December 2022 of a bear market. And right now we are from October to May. So clearly it is not, it has not been how long the last bear market cycle has lasted. Same thing with the bear market before that in 2018. We went from January of 2018 to basically January of 2019. So 1 year. And right now it has not been 1 year. So that's why I am thinking we're probably going to, come up a little bit more and then end up crashing. If we do end up coming up a little bit more, my thesis has been that we were going to have Bitcoin go to 84,000, as somewhere really between 81, 82, and really all the way up to 89. But I honestly don't think we're going to get it to 89. I'm still thinking 84, 85 is the top, because once again, that's the golden ratio right there. So because of that, that's where I'm actually already starting to sell out of my positions. On the daily charts, looks like we did hit the 200-day moving average. All right, so hit the 200-day moving average. Of course, that acted as a resistance, and now we are falling down from there. But we did not experience a huge drop today, honestly. Like, a lot of times when you get this, I mean, yeah, there's still 11 hours to go, but it doesn't really, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like we're going to have a huge drop right now. But typically when we do get a big resistance like this, 200-day moving average or something like that, and then you put in this really bearish candle, this, long wick candle to the upside, the next day typically is pretty bearish. It does typically go down quite substantially. And the fact that it did not, to me, that's a little bit bullish, to be honest. And that makes me think that we're probably gonna move up, continue to move back up, and probably hit that 84K level that I was thinking of. Because one of course is the golden ratio, but then also, look at this big support area, right? So it was a big support area, and so it's probably going to be a big resistance area as well. Also, I'm pretty sure if we jump above the 200-day moving average, a lot of people are going to be like, all right, back on, bull market's back on, let's go, and then just like jump in. But that's obviously not the thing to do. So I mean, I can't say if it's the thing to do or not, but I don't think it is. But like, if you scroll back to the 2021 bear market, I mean, you just look at this. this was the top, and we fell down, we fell below the 200-day moving average, right? And like as soon as we went back above it, it's like we went above it for like 1 or 2 days and then crashed back down. And then we went above it for like 4 or 5 days and then we crashed back down. And then finally, I think like right over here, this is basically, it's not PTSD, all right? It's learning from your mistakes and past cycles. But yeah, so like right here, again, we had a big run up in the crypto market in 2022 in March, but of course it did not last. And so we ended up falling back down and continuing the bear market. So that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. Not only that, but there are certain things that just basically make it seem like not the same, not make it seem like it's not the same conditions that it was in 2021. It's not the same conditions that it was in 2018. Everything. Do you just get a sense? Let me know if you get a sense of this too. Like just a sense that things are propped up, like things are artificially inflated. Like, the S&P 500 is at all-time highs, right? And it's just like, why is that? Like, it's just like, it doesn't even seem like it should be, right? It's like, just seems like this is manipulation or something, or just like people, I don't know, maybe like Trump or the Fed just like printing money and then putting it into the stock market to like make sure like, hey, we're doing good, although a lot of that like hasn't really flowed too much into Bitcoin, even though Bitcoin is up from the lows. It's up over 20%, right? Actually, it's up over 30% from the lows if you got in all the way back in February. But I don't know. It just seems super artificial. Like it's not real, like at least like, in 2021, that was real. Like everyone was talking about it. It was a huge thing. There was real money, real retail coming in. And it was just, it was the way it was. Now it's just, there's all of this happening, right? Also, let's go to oil. Like oil is still fairly, very, very high. And typically when it is really, really high, that's not good news for the markets. So this actually looks like a head and shoulders, doesn't it? Now that I look at it, like boom, you could probably see it right now, right? Like, right. So maybe oil is going to come all the way back down, stabilize. And then, typically like, when oil's down, that's when other things like the stock market could, rally and stuff. But just in history, but, things have been all over the place. It's like, I listen to a lot of investors, like old school investors, and a lot of them are even saying like, man, this is the most confusing time. Like you used to be able to count on certain things happening, right? You used to be able to look at data or look at charts or like understand the macro situation, and then it would, you could put the pieces of the puzzle together and then it would be reflected in the charts. But now a lot of it is like, a lot of them are saying like they don't even really know. And it's almost like what happened with earnings calls and stuff. It's like, it used to be that if a company reported good earnings, like the price would go up, right? Or maybe the price would go down for like a day and then the price would go up. But it would be good, like the company reports good and then like it ends up being good for the stock price. But now it's like you could report amazing earnings and the price tanks, right? You could report terrible earnings and the price skyrockets, right? So it's sort of like that, to where you don't really know what to expect. I think that, and then you don't even know, like what another war is going to break out, or if we're going to invade somewhere, or what's going to happen, or if Trump is going to tweet something. But like one thing that I do believe in is that if you do have enough time in front of the charts, that you get an intuition, you get like a third sense, and can really basically use that to put on good plays and stuff. I mean, I was looking at the market. I look at the market almost daily, definitely every week, and it wasn't until maybe a couple weeks ago, if that I was really, that was the first time where I was like, all right, something is happening. Like I couldn't really tell like what was going on, but I could just sense it in the charts. And also I would look through a whole bunch of things and I would see something like this happen, right? Like this happened the 1st of May. This is troll. And like it's been going down, for like since November. Well, since before November, since October, right? And all of a sudden, it had this huge pump of however much percentage, right? And it almost 500%, and it erased 6 months of downside selling, right? It regained all of that, and this doesn't happen obviously unless capital is flowing into the market or unless something underlying is changing. So paying attention to the charts obviously is like important, and then you could see things like this and then be like, oh, my radar is bleeping, I need to pay more attention now, I need to like look for more things, maybe now is the time to go in, stuff like that, right? And so these are all of my thoughts right now. Also, of course, I have levels plotted out on the charts that I look for. I look for like really big things to happen. And for the most part, when I stick to my levels, because typically the levels, if you could plot out really big levels on charts, like on the higher time frame, when we hit those levels, something's going to happen. And typically it's what you think is going to happen. If you have good intuition, and if you've been in the market for a while, right, for long enough. So I still have like big areas plotted out on the charts, like for Bitcoin, like this whole area right here, and also this whole area down here. And so that is one other thing, is like using intuition, but then also looking at the charts and having these big levels plotted out. And then, so like, hey, this is the time to pay attention, and this is the time for me to, maybe not get so euphoric, or maybe not get so depressed or so down, and to actually start buying because things actually hit key levels, right? Or if I'm looking at Sol right now, and it's like, look at Sol, it like, finally broke above this huge trend line that it's been in place since October of last year. So maybe something's going to happen. Personally, I don't know. Personally, I still think $66 is sort of in the 66, 60, 70, $68 is still in play for Solana. But maybe I'm wrong on that, and we are going to break out from this range. I mean, technically, we're still in this. We're still in this range, right? So you really gotta. This is more like it, actually. You really gotta just plot out the ranges on the chart and plot out things on the chart, because right now everything is. I don't know about you, but like, there's definitely some euphoria. There's definitely some excitement. There's definitely some people saying, oh, you should buy right now, buy right now. Like, you're going to miss it. Like they always do. Every time the price goes up in any way, shape, or form, people are always screaming. And I posted this on my X a long time ago. Not a long time ago, but like a few months ago. And it still holds true. Like, most of what you see is propaganda. Most of what you see is fake. Most of what you see is big corporations or big money or a big person that has a lot of money, basically trying to direct you to do something, or essentially buy or sell, right? And so That's what happened in October, right before the big liquidation happened. We had all of these big companies, and I'm not going to name anything. I'm not going to name anything, but like we had these big companies, big people, and they're like pushing this leverage. They're like pushing leverage, leverage, leverage. Use leverage, everything, nonstop. Oh my God, that was like the big narrative, and like odd that was pushed like insane, literally, like at the same exact time, like a few weeks before the biggest liquidation event in Bitcoin and crypto history. Right? It's like who's like the people that profited the most about that, in my opinion, the people who profited the most with that were just pushing it on X and pushing it on social media. And so what I noticed also though, it was something similar to this. Like if you look at Solana is still inside of the range that it's been in since February. Okay. It's still in this range. And yet you see some people being like, oh, you should have bought. Like you missed out. Right. And it's still in a range. It's like nothing has changed. Like nothing has actually changed with the price. So why are people, I don't know why there's so many people like that go crazy, right? When the price doesn't change that much, right? It's still in a range, when it hasn't broken out. That's why trading is so cool. It's because trading really gives you this objective data that you can at least look at and say, hey, look, okay, there's all of this stuff going on, but the charts are saying this, the charts are saying something totally different, and the charts are the truth, and the candles are the truth, and the price is the truth. So you don't have to get sucked in to all of the nonsense that people talk about, or that big corporations want you to think that people are talking about, right? So that was a big rant. So yeah, I think what we could do now is go into the master indicator again. So what I'm going to do is I'll go back and I'll share the tab now in dark mode, thanks to Brett. And I'll just say this, like, hey, I want to create a new metric to add to the master indicator. What do you think I should add next? And let's see what Claude has to say. And by the way, looking at this right now, we have Bitcoin dominance, altcoin dominance, USDT dominance, USDC dominance. So I'll just go, instead of looking at this right here, I'll just look at it on the charts for you guys, because we have the charts available to us, so might as well. So I'm just going to share this. This is altcoin dominance. So altcoin dominance. Oh, actually, looking at this is somewhat promising for alts. I'm not going to say it's like super promising. We still don't know yet. We're still in a downtrend, in a clear downtrend on altcoin dominance, right? However, this is the area where the altcoin dominance did bounce from a few times prior. So maybe it's not a bad idea. Like basically what I'm saying is like if you're going to bet, if you're going to make a gamble, if you're going to make a calculated bet, the time to do it is when something is at a support, and when you also get other things like confirmation that, like, for instance, this looks to me like a bullish divergence on the RSI, right? And the MACD is also ticking up. So we're getting the MACD ticking up. We're getting a bullish divergence on the RSI. the altcoin dominance is at a support. So honestly, it's like I look at this and it's like, hey, well, maybe it's not a bad time to gamble and maybe try to go for some winners on the in alts. We'll see. It's because it's definitely better. It's definitely better to do it there than here. It's like knowing how to read the charts enables you to know the best times or the best places to go in and out, right? So it's like for the past 6 months, really, it's like you don't want to be going in, and it's been pretty obvious that you don't want to be going in. But now it's like, hey, maybe there's a chance. Now, given the time, like I mentioned in the very start of this, given the time of where we are in the bear market and also all of these other factors that are happening, you have to keep that into account too. So because of that, I'm not going to be going in crazy heavy. I'm not going to be risking a ton of my portfolio, but I might as well take at least a little bit of a shot. Maybe I could stack a little bit more now compared to other times, right? And that's basically how I trade. Some people trade every single day, no matter what. Some people trade like always have to be in a play, always looking for something. And yeah, I don't know. It's just not the way. It's just not. I like looking for big areas that make sense to me, right? So anyway, I'm looking at these. I'm looking at the dominance levels, and yeah, I mean the stablecoin dominances still have some room to roll over, still have some room to go down. So maybe it's not the worst time to try, but I would still be pretty cautious, to be honest, because I don't think it's over, and for me, it's not like something to buy and hold. For me, it's literally like trade, like buy, have a stop loss, have a take profit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what I'm looking at. All right, so going back over here, based on what's still in your original list and what you would add to the most value to the dashboard, here are my thoughts. BTC versus 200 week and 300 week EMA. That would be Claude's stop pick, at least. I mentioned these at the very start. They're powerful bear market signals. BTC is likely approaching the 200-week EMA right now, given the drawdown, knowing exactly where it's actually not. Bitcoin, knowing exactly where the price sits relative to these long-term moving averages gives you clear how deep are we reading that pairs perfectly with your drawdown and cycle timing metrics. When BTC drops below the 200-week EMA, that's historically been the absolute best buying zone. So that's the 200-week EMA, right? 200-week EMA and 300-week EMA. So let's go back over here, share this tab. I remember I did mention this earlier, like in my last, not earlier, I meant in my last stream. I need to find a Bitcoin chart that isn't totally just completely covered in indicators. Back, boom, boom, boom. All right, here we go. So double tap this, go to the week, double tap this, 200. And so this is the 200 EMA, 200 SMA on the weekly. And then we have hey, look at that. It actually did end up being a really good buying opportunity under the 200-week EMA. However, it's usually, let's go back. 200-week EMA, that like back here, it was not a good buying opportunity, of course. At least not for a while, right? However, most of the time, the 200-week EMA has been a pretty good signal. So honestly, maybe if it does come back down there, maybe we'll get a stunted a stunted fifth wave down, and it'll sort of just end up being an equal low. And what I mean by that is, if I do this, what I mean by that is that typically what happens, if we can find it, is in bull markets, there's 5 waves up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then there are 3 waves down. So typically it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. And then there is the correction down, A, B, C. And I don't know why this doesn't have lines. It would be great if it does. There you go. However, in bear markets, that's usually flipped. So instead of 5 waves up and then 3 waves down, it's usually 5 waves down and then 3 waves up. And as you could see, we have 1 wave down, 2 waves down, but 1, 2, 3, 4, and then where's the 5th one? Where's the 5th one, right? So I'm looking for like a 5th wave down, and I think that like it's going to be somewhere over here around 50, like 50K. However, totally possible that it's like quote unquote stunted and we get an equal low, right? But that's what I'm looking for. I'm not really expecting the price to, I don't expect this to be the bottom. Anything could happen. I could be totally wrong here. I think that a lot of people aren't expecting this to be the bottom. So who knows? Maybe it won't be. But yeah, I don't know. Unless we, do something like this, and we're like this, up until October, like September, October of this year. If that happens, then I'm just going to say screw it, and I'm just going to buy it. I'm just going to say screw it. I'm going back in, just putting everything back into Bitcoin, even though it'll be $70,000-$80,000, because by that time an entire year has passed, and I really don't think that it's going to continue the bear market past, much further past that, like 2 years. Like, I don't think we're going to have a 2-year bear market, right? I really hope not. That would be horrible. I mean, what would happen? Literally, what would happen? Bro, by the way, sorry, I just got a text message. I need to go on to silent mode. I'm usually always on do not disturb. I have no idea why I'm not on do not disturb right now. So let me throw this on here. DND is the way to go. DND everything. I never get any notifications sent to me ever, and I just check it on my own time. Otherwise, I would just go insane. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's it. It's like, how can you? I mean, dude, if we have a 2-year bear, can you believe it? If we have a 2-year bear market in crypto, who would be left? Who would still be here? There'd be like 10 people, But then again, maybe that's what the institutions want. They want, everyone to just leave so that they could just collect it because they, a lot of these guys, they don't care. They have a long-term horizon. But honestly, I think that the general way of the world, and the fact that literally just the fact that everything is so fast paced now, I think that the stock market, the crypto market, and it's every market really. I think every market in general is a lot more fast paced, and I don't see things being super slow anymore because of the technology that we have now and just the way that our minds work. I mean, because Because at the end of the day, it's like it's humans that are behind the price, right? So the humans end up controlling the price. The humans end up controlling the algorithms. They build the algorithms. They build it all. So, and humans are getting faster and faster and faster and faster. So that's why I just don't see a 2-year bear market. You know, I don't see the bear market being longer this year than last year. And in any case, I see the bear market being shorter this year than every other year, right? Every other time. I think bear markets are going to be shorter, and I think bull markets might be shorter as well, but it seems like there's still typically, 3 years of bull markets in crypto. That's what it was. That's what it's always been. That's what it was this year too. So, or this cycle as well. So, hard to tell, but these are just things that are crossing my mind. What do you guys think? Well, bro, if Ethereum did a 3x run, then the altcoin market's definitely not in a bear market because Ethereum is the Ethereum is the main altcoin. In fact, I use Ethereum to gauge the market. That's how I was able to literally sell everything. Like I sold my entire stack right before the big liquidation event in October, because I sold it in September because I looked at it, and then I did buy back part of it. So it's not like I didn't lose anything. I did end up losing something. I never got liquidated. I didn't lose that much, in October. But it was mainly because of Ethereum, because I saw funny enough, 5 waves up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I saw 5 waves up, right? And we went 5 waves up directly into the previous top. Okay. And when I saw that, and then I saw a bearish market structure break for the first time since April of 2025, 1, 2, and then finally a bearish market structure break right here to where we created a lower low on the weekly time frame. That was my sell signal. So this entire candle up, this entire move up, I was selling because, of what I just explained. So for the person who said that Elliott Waves doesn't work, like this was literally a key component of me, selling the top. And I bought an apartment in Miami, like with my trading with my gains. So it's not like I didn't, win this cycle. Like I did well because of this, right? So, yeah, like this stuff does work. The thing is, you just got to find what works for you. You just got to find what works for you. Like Elliott Waves combined with Fibonacci, for me, man, it's like amazing. It's freaking sick. But it doesn't really, yeah, it's just whatever works for you. So regarding that, let's see, Matthew Lake, seems more like a mid-cycle correction, even in a scenario where the 4-year cycle breaks. It's not surprising we had a top in October due to so many believing in the 4-year cycle and OGs selling. Exactly, right. So haven't even bought the Thai penthouse party pad, bro. Hell no, dude. Thailand, you do not want to purchase anything, in my opinion, because the rent here is so cheap. There's no point in purchasing anything because the actual buildings, the actual units to buy in Thailand are super expensive. It's pretty much like $500,000 to buy an apartment, and you could rent it for about like $1,500. So you know, it doesn't make any sense. If you could rent something for between $1,000 and $1,500, and they're asking $500,000, it's like, why would I buy it? I'd buy it if it was like 300,000 or maybe like, or less. But with the rent prices being so low, there's just no point in buying. So yeah, I'm not buying any property here. All my properties are in Miami because that's like the New York. I think Miami is going to be just going higher and higher and higher and getting better and better and better, and just continue to increase in value. So I think if you want an apartment, Miami is the way to go. So that was a long rant. Basically, if we go back here, we were adding the 200-week and 300-week EMA. So might as well add this. Let's add this. All right, what is this saying? 200-week moving average. It says has climbed above $60,000. It was approximately $58,000 in February. So it is currently in the $60,000 range. Let's check. Let's check that. If I go back over to this tab and I go to BTC and I just do Kraken and I do the 200-week. Yeah, 200-week EMA. It's about, actually, the 200-week EMA is around, the standard SMA is around 60,000. So yeah, 60,000, that's basically the area where you want to get into. If you're using moving averages, right? So we have that, and then go back to here. The 300-week EMA, I couldn't find a specific current value because it's less commonly tracked. Before I build this metric, I need to understand how you want to use it. The 200-week moving average is a single price level that moves over time. It's not like a dominance where you set fixed zones. The signal is about where BTC price is relative to that moving average. Knowing which one you use and how you want it displayed will determine how I build the metric and what zones make sense. So how do you want the BTC versus 200-week EMA metric displayed on the dashboard? Show the percentage distance from the EMA. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. So, or show whether BTC is above or below. Actually, this is probably better because it's easier. And so I'll just do that. And if it's below, that's like dollar cost average. That's like start buying in like more heavily. Do you use the 200-week EMA or 200-week SMA on TradingView? I mean, I use the EMA, but I use both actually, but I'll just say EMA on here. All right, let's see. Simple and clean. So this works just like the market structure toggle, a binary signal. BTC above 200-week EMA equals red. BTC below 200-week EMA equals green, because that's historically the best buying zone. And the same for the 300-week EMA. When BTC drops below that, that's an even deeper signal. Do you know the current 200-week EMA and 300-week EMA values on TradingView? Yeah. All right. So the 200-week EMA is if we could get it up here. Let's see. 34. It is 68. 68,000. Damn. 68,712. All right. 200 EMA, 200 week EMA is 68,712. And the 300 is 57,885. 300 EMA is 57,885. 57,885. See what it has to say about this. All right. I would say when Bitcoin is above these levels, that should be neutral. No signal. Yeah, I only want to know when to buy, so I'm gonna say it's neutral. Above equals neutral, below equals green. Above both equals neutral, below 200 weekly equals mean, green equals max green. I guess that's probably good. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so when BTC drops below $68,700, the 200-week EMA turns green as it will be a buy zone. When BTC drops below $57,885, that's the 300-week EMA. That's when it turns max green, which is the absolute best buying zone. And that's absolutely true. If it does, if Bitcoin falls underneath the 300-week moving average, that's like sell everything you own and put it all into Bitcoin, right? So I'm looking at this, and it says that because they change over time, it's going to need to be manually updated periodically. And honestly, I'm going to build this out so that it's automatically updated. I think it's stupid that it says I need to manually do anything at this point. But it's building this out. Where is it? It's down. Where's that? Both are moving averages. Here we go. So we got the moving averages, and now we have this added to the master indicator. Above, if it's above, then you know what? There's nothing. It's totally neutral. But if we go back to Bitcoin itself, you can see that if it is below, well, if it's below, then that's obviously a good buying opportunity. So that's when it will turn green, and it'll say this is a good buying opportunity right there. You can also see back here, even though $24,000, $24,000, $26,000, it wasn't the bottom. It wasn't necessarily super close to the bottom. It still is pretty dang good, right? You'd be in a drawdown of 40% if you were to go all in at that point. But obviously you could have made a solid, 365, basically, let's call it like a 4x. You could have made like a 4x on your return. So, I mean, shit, imagine just putting like $1 million into Bitcoin, when it falls under the 200-week moving average, and then getting out after a 4x and you just made $3 million. Sorry, that's pretty damn good. Obviously, like, most people don't have like that money. But like leverage? No, I'm just kidding. Don't use leverage. But what I'm looking for is like this to happen, right? Like, we fall underneath of here. Yeah, I mean, February 2026. I mean, yeah, right now, February 2026 was a great buy. Yeah, anytime under the 200-week moving average is a great buy right now. But you know, there's still the possibility. There's still the possibility of it falling back down. And then if if it falls back down, then maybe it's not going to be such a good buy. Maybe it's not going to be such a good buy. Um, I mean, because if you look back, where is it? If you look back here, like this wasn't, I guess, honestly, I don't know. Like this was not a good buy for quite a long time, but then it ended up being a good buy. So I wonder if this right here, like right now it's obviously it was a good buy. I think if it falls back underneath of there, then that will be a really good buy. Because typically what I've noticed a lot in markets is that we will get like a push up from an area where it's, sort of obvious that we should get a big push up from there that a lot of people think we should, such as the 200 weekly moving average, right? So it's like, okay, cool, we got a big push up there. And I guess this doesn't really actually, I was just thinking about this. I was like, but typically we get a move back down to that area. So everyone who originally bought, who was smart and said, hey, I'm going to buy because like this is where I should buy, they get freaked out and then they end up selling, down here. That's typically what happens. I'm looking at this though. It's like we did get, technically speaking, a move back down. It was only like a 1 week thing. It wasn't really that big, but like I'm still thinking that we're going to get another move down. As I pointed out in this, in the beginning, I'm still thinking we're going to get another move down. It would be really odd to me if this was, if the bottom was in February of 2026, because if the bottom was in February of 2026, that would mean that we had October, November, January, and then February, 4 months. And it wasn't even like past the first week of February. It's the first week of February. So less than 4 months, 3.5 months of a bear market. That seems pretty stupid to me. That seems like very unrealistic to me. Very unrealistic to me. That a bear market will only last 3.5 months for crypto when historically it's lasted a year. Now, if something lasts 8 months, I think 8 months is something that could happen. I think 7, 8, 9 months, all the way up to, the typical 1 year. I think that's totally doable. But if this was the bottom, that would totally catch me off guard. And I'm pretty sure that would catch about 95% of everyone else off guard as well. And so, yeah, I wouldn't be, I mean, I've been expecting 84K for quite a while now. So we'll see what happens. But right now, I mean, I don't know about right now. It's difficult to say what to do, to be honest, because we are like so close to this area. It's like if we do get a breakout, then yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of alts will like have a big move up. But I'm still like, do I want to go into this? And knowing about like, how Warren Buffett, manages his trades, and how Charlie Munger and like other like famous investors, they always say like, go in when you have high confidence, when you have high conviction, and what's happening? Oh, my bad. I accidentally pressed the button on my chair. And so, yeah, I don't have super high conviction. I don't have super high confidence. So that's why I'm like, being super cautious and not going to go in with a whole bunch of stuff. Is anyone else going in with or what are your plans? I see Jenny right here, dollar cost averaging down if it goes lower, but not freaking out, not going crazy. Anyone else? What are your strategies? There's a few people watching. What are you guys thinking? So you think we're going to have a fake breakout to trap as many as possible before the last move, major dump of this bear? Seems about right. Yeah, I mean that could happen. Like maybe come all the way up to close to 90, and then be like, shit, maybe we are, and then all of a sudden, like, boom, bam. That could be it. I could totally see that happening, because I also think like maybe there's not enough people that actually are on board right now, or there's not enough people that are buying, so they want to push it up a little bit higher first, to really get people excited. Because I don't think people are very excited, right? Like I think people are excited, but not enough people are excited. Not enough people are giving their money into the markets, So they need to push it up a little bit higher, get people really excited, and then dump it. That's a possibility for sure. Buy when there's fear. Oh yeah. Also, the fear and greed index. Well, I mean, sentiment. Look at market sentiment. And when there is extreme fear, or especially capitulation, or just people don't care anymore, that's the time to buy for sure. Yeah, sounds like a plan. Although 30K, man, 30K. Brett says until we hit below 50K, closer to 30K, I'm not buying back in with any large commitment. I don't think we're hitting 30. In my opinion, I think literally if 60, if 59, 60 is that, if that's not the bottom, if this is not the bottom, the absolute lowest that I see it going is 45, is around 42 to 45,000. Yeah, around that price, 42 to 45,000. There is like a very, 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 very small chance, in my opinion, that will hit 31 to 35. A lot of times we hit the 88%, which is around 32. Or if you count it from down here, it's around 29. But I don't know why I have it here. Oh, I know I have it here because the 61.8 line's up right here, and that's where we bounced from. But like, yeah, these are the areas that I see as potential lows. But I'm really thinking like if we hit 42 to 45 and I still have dry powder, I might just want to go all in there, because I'm not really sure. Or what I'll do is just what I normally do, which is look at the freaking charts, because the charts will tell you. Like, look at that. Like, if we scroll back, down here, you could at least right here, we got a higher highs, higher lows, and then we got a weekly bullish candle right here before the giant move up. But even if you miss this entire move up, like could have gotten in around 21K, like 21, 22K. That would have made a lot of sense to be getting in here. Honestly, right here around 19, 20, this seems to be like what makes the most sense. Just looking at this chart, this is a giant wick down that ended up being a swing failure pattern, like with a bullish candle like this. This looks like a bottom to me right here. But even if you would have went all in back there, it would have been fine. I think the same is going to be whether you get in at 35, whether you get in at 45, it's going to be fine either way. Because personally, I still think Bitcoin is going to be $1 million per one Bitcoin, in like 10 years. So I'm just going to keep on stacking sats. I'm just going to keep on stacking sats. Yeah, anyway, I think that's going to be it. I have to go through all of these charts. I'm going to go through all of these charts, and typically what I do is I just go through all of them on my own and then post it up to like a group that I have with a Crypto Elite, and we will see what happens. But I added the 200-week moving average to the chart, to the master indicator, and I basically gave you my my thought process of what I'm thinking is going to happen. And yeah, if anything comes up, I'll let y'all know. I'm in a short on ZEC right now, like right around like this one. So I don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully I make some money. We'll see. And it has to go above, as long as it doesn't go back above like $609. Fingers crossed. We'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Appreciate that, Jenny. Appreciate that. All right. Pleasure. The pleasure is all mine. Later.